Made it back, y'all. I made it back. Yeah, some good old news, man. I found something about that Bernie Sanders and Senator Bernie Sanders and AOC. They're on that oligarchy tour. Now, next one, I may put the oligarchy in there, but I know I'm going to show y'all something that explains why the crowd is constantly rotating and rotating. And some of them people that we've seen in Los Angeles is going to show up at some of their other oligarchy tour, because the ones that was here from Bakersfield showed up out there also. And here is not only that, but what's the trip of stopping when people are enjoying themselves at a music festival? What is that supposed to be? Pandemonium, fanfare? That's a well-off strategy. They sure was down for it. They went for it. So subscribe to the channel. Let's get the show started. And I'm not going to keep you here that long because, man, wait till you see what we have going on. And then the first up, go over here, is let's see what he did over there at that. This is Bernie Sanders, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. This old guy went to the Coachella concert, probably to blow off some steam. Where are you?
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders made a surprise debut at Coachella this weekend, and he had a stark message for the crowd. Take a listen here.
This country faces some very difficult challenges. The future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
This appearance just hours after a rally that Sanders held in Los Angeles with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was part of their Fighting Oligarchy tour. Over 36,000 were in attendance, making it their biggest rally so far.
The people of this country do not want oligarchy. They do not want authoritarianism.
That's not Coachella. That's Los
It's
Angeles.
not about partisan labels or purity tests, but it's about class solidarity.
Now, users on X applauded Sanders' Coachella speech. Brian Krasenstein writing, he went from the LA rally to Coachella. He's 83 and fighting like this. This should be an inspiration to all of us. If he can do this, we can all do a little more.
Other users were quick to point out maybe that there's a hypocrisy here. Conservative Greg Price said something incredibly ironic about a multi-millionaire who owns 3 houses and has been a politician for the last 50 years, speaking about the evils of oligarchy and wealth to a crowd at a music festival that costs at least $1,500 to attend.
Now, check that out. That's how much it costs to attend. He's supposed to be oligarchy, and he owns all these houses because they will never, ever say millionaire. They're going to say billionaire. See? They ain't going to say millionaire again. They're going to say billionaire because they're millionaires on 4 houses. He's not worrying about no prices. This is all staged. Everything is staged. So, staged. And then that is some of the side notes. So at least this station right here, the Hill, is being fair by showing us the receipts of what people are really saying. Let's watch some more.
Yeah, the Coachella price tag is very significant. Not a lot of
Not where you were this weekend.
ordinary. I was not there. No, not a lot of ordinary working class people there. That's for the elites, and that's fine. He can.
Well, look, and I think a lot of
whatever.
folks, coming to him and saying, well, look at you. He's a best-selling author. He's made his money that way. Also, he's been a congressman forever. He's 80.
50 years. That long in office. This don't make no sense. This is like playing the same script over and over and over. And I think his disruption when he ran for president was nothing but a disruption. A disruption to rock the boat. So, to rock the boat with the votes. Huh?
3 years old.
Well, unlike him, I think it's okay for wealthy people to have their money and keep it. So we have a difference of opinion.
Well,
there.
and 3
I have
homes.
no problem with it.
Let's
Go off,
let's
King.
be honest. Let's be honest. Most senators usually do have a home in D.C. So that's one right there. Then you have the home where he lives in Vermont, and then you have his, whatever lake house or whatever it might be. So 3 homes. You're 83 years old. You have what?
4.
2 best-selling books.
Have any of y'all bought these books? Because, man, these must be some real good books. So, make sure you go out there and get you one of them books, man, because you may end up being a bestseller and able to get going. But let's see what's really jumping off with this oligarchy tour that they're doing, because, man, something just seems too fishy to me, too real. It just can't be this possible. So what I would like to say right here, fair use. Let's look at this receipt, and boy.
While we're talking about this, the Dems are trying to find out who is the face of the party. In Denver, Colorado, Rob, if you want to pull this up, Bernie Sanders has an event with AOC. And when you look at this event with AOC, if you can pull this up and play the clip, they say 34,000 people show up to this event. So watch this clip. That's still a strong audience if you look at that, right? That's a strong audience right there that they have to show up to Bernie and AOC's event. But here's a challenge with this. According to Zero Hedge, Rob, if you can go to Zero Hedge with what Mario Nafal posted, I think it's in the exchange. If you don't have it, I can send it to you. I think you do have it. So massive rally, AOC, right? It turns out it wasn't as grassroots as advertised. Look at this number here. Despite claims of 34,000, GPS data analysis reveals the real number was closer to 20,000. Still big, but not record-breaking because they measured all the cell phones. More revealing, a whopping 84% of those devices had shown up to 9 other protests or more, including Antifa, BLM events, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian demonstrators, and Kamala Harris campaign stop. Over 30% have attended by 20 or more. Data analyst says the crowd was anything but organic. The majority were tied to activist networks like Disruption Projects, Indivisible, Democratic Socialist America, Rise and Resist, and Troublemakers, all reportedly funded by Act Blue.
Weird.
And some receiving backing via USAID. Optics over authenticity. The playbook hasn't changed, just a target. While we're talking about this, the Dems are trying to find out who is the face of the party. In Denver, Colorado, Rob, if you want to pull this up, Bernie Sanders.
See? So in other words, did y'all take a gander of what they was really talking about? They think they slick. See? Now y'all go to their app, check out the numbers. They fall in the same cell phones. They probably got a darn grocery bag full of cell phones. They probably buying extra cell phones. Whole lot of them Obama phones are showing up at the rally. Supposedly something, and BLM phones and stuff in every state. So it's like this is something far from being real, if anything. And man, fair use, man. I mean these people were. And then, even though they doing this rally, this is another book deal. So he might as well keep on moving at 83, 50 years running. Could he really explain to us what was his best accomplishment, what that he can concrete show us that changed the community? They don't want to ask questions like that on the news trail. They just don't. What have he... at 50 years, he could have been like 20 of those years could have went to teaching other people on how to come up on writing these bestseller novels and books. And this is getting crazy, man. So I'm going to end this show in a few seconds because I got something that I like cracking up about. And I always try to find something, and it's this one right here. So let's back this up and let's see if these lefties are really, losing it. You know what I mean? I think they're losing it. Shoot, that thing is spotty right there. This is how the left be losing it.
Good evening.
evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start.
So feel free to go over there to look at Lefties Losing It.
Lefties with the tragic fall of Bill Burr,
Where
a
are you?
comedian who was once hilarious, unashamedly politically incorrect, and not scared to take on the left's groupthink. But sadly,
They're going to talk about that.
Lefty wife and a severe case of TDS, well, it's reduced Bill Burr to a sad joke, a very unfunny sad joke. Watch him here on The View. Yes, The View. Here he...
And I know everybody's seen that, so I don't want to even talk about that. Look at her, got blue hair. So the Lefty Losing It will have you cracking up.
The looting, you said that it was counterproductive. NPR also promoted a book called In Defense of Looting. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
Now you claim you never read it, but you posted about it repeatedly. Okay.
That America is addicted.
Let's listen to what America is addicted to.
Editorial positions are filled by registered Democrats in DC and 0 by Republicans.
Is NPR biased?
Congressman, I have never seen any instance of political bias determining editorial decisions, no.
It was 87 Democrats, 0 Republicans, and you say NPR is not biased.
And those old tweets kept coming back to haunt her. But don't worry, she has changed dramatically in the last 4 or 5 years, or half a decade, as she refers to call it. What a mess.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
Catherine, you certainly did. You tweeted about it at length. You took a day off to just read the book. You posted, America begins in black plunder and white democracy. I appreciate the day off today to finally fully read The Case for Reparations.
So, you know, I just showed that to show you ain't got nothing else to do. Just go over there and check out The Left is Losing It. And, you know, that just to give you a little blunder. That whole thing will let you see that they're losing it. She don't remember reading books and stuff. And, yeah, I believe, she got a sensitive heart and may mean well, but the brainwashing and the conditioning to be in a catastrophic state is really something. So till then, take care. See you on the next one.